Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday interview. My name is Dave Savage, CEO and founder of Mortgage Coach. Today, I am interviewing for, I don't know, like more than 5, maybe 6 times, Realtor Glenn Bill. I always like to throw that Realtor in front of it. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm great. I'm great. We always try to do just one a year. I don't want to overindulge our Mortgage Coach friends, but really have enjoyed getting to know the Mortgage Coach family. I love when our Mortgage Coach people hit me on LinkedIn, ask me advice. I'm here for you, to serve you. And you got some great people that are in this group. And like I say, look me up on LinkedIn. I love engaging with you guys, and I love visiting. You have some incredible guests. Your content week after week is great, and I love listening to the other guests. So I'm looking forward to spending a little time with you guys today. Hopefully we'll give you some nuggets that will increase sales, shift your mindset, increase your passion, all that good stuff.
So Glenn, I'm going to ask you a question in a minute on how long ago do you think the first interview is. I'm not going to ask you that yet, but be ready for it. And I'm going to show you the first interview that we did because I was, kind of reminiscing like, hey, when did I first, see you? And by the way, I think the first time I met you was at a Fairway sales rally. Not going to say how long ago it was, where you were a speaker and, you were like top producing realtor coming in to pump everybody up, right? Is that how we first met?
Yeah, Fairway's been great to me. I've been able to go to many markets with them, but we did the I believe the Attitude Hour is what it was called, and fantastic company. I know we got a lot of Fairway listeners out there. I think Mark Richards is out there, hopefully listening in today out of New Jersey. But yeah, we did the Attitude Hour speech with them. I've done many speeches for them, and always have fun. We've visited Hallmark Mortgage, Waterstone, Wells, Chase. I've done a lot of mortgage keynotes, and I have a passion and an affinity for real estate people and mortgage people. It's what I eat, live, and breathe, and I think we're some of the most special people on earth.
I love that. No, I totally agree, man. I love realtors. I love mortgage people. Most of my best friends are mortgage leaders, mortgage coaches, somehow in the mortgage industry. Now, one of the things I love about you that makes you unique is not only are you a great speaker and leader, and that's one reason why I'm interviewing you today, but you're killing it in the trenches as a real estate agent today. Real quick, let everybody know what kind of volume you're doing and a little bit about your real estate practice.
Sure. We, we do about 135 homes a year, 25 to 30 million in sales. I always, joke with people, I do it part-time. I have an incredible team that supports me. But I think it's something when we talk about running a team, especially a mortgage team, one of the biggest mistakes that I fight not to do and that I see big mortgage people doing are handing the customer over to your team without the proper warm handoff and alienating sometimes your best customers. And not only do mortgage people do this, I am a victim of this. So when you hire me to speak, when I come in and I engage your company, right, I oftentimes have the same challenges that everybody in the room does. And one of the biggest issues we have is people want to do business with Glenn Bill. They don't want to do business with Glenn Bill's team members. And how to make that transition, the strategic way to do it, and not just hand off that referral, right, from your realtor and never talk to the customer. It's amazing. I can't tell you how many people I've personally worked with who have become big. I've referred them a buyer, and my buyer never met them. And unfortunately, they're not doing a lot of loans for us anymore. So maybe a whole different topic, but those of you that are big team leaders, the warm handoff and how to hand that referred customer to somebody, something I love to talk about. And it's something that if you're losing customers like me, look at, I've done it. There's a better way to do it, and I'm working on improving that constantly.
So let's do this, guys. So Glenn is ready for us just to throw questions at him. I'm even going to argue with him about a few things. I already know it. You know, and by the way, every time I don't agree with Bill, it's like, he's right. I get that. But there's always two ways to do things. There's this dichotomy of things because, you know, to Glenn's point, I mean, I've never met a top producing loan officer that consistently does over 100 loans a year, you know, and it doesn't, you know, have a team. And, you know, there are some families that don't get to meet with them, but it's, you know, to your point, it's how you do it, how you scale. But be ready to ask Glenn questions. So Glenn, how long ago do you think it was that we did our first interview? Like,
I'm guessing 5 years ago.
Okay, you're pretty close. So by the way, I went to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel and I just typed in Glenn's name, did a little search on him. By the way, interesting. The last interview we did together was a year ago. Wow. By the way, your ability to show up on video in a way that's pro, you've elevated the game. Like,
thank you.
If you got, you know, what you said was really smart and good, but how you showed up on video wasn't awesome.
Right.
By the way, that video is like 3,700 views, dude.
That's good.
Killing it.
That's good.
Here we go down to the bottom. Let's see, 6 years ago. So by the way, it's like 6 years ago I interviewed Glenn for the first time. And that's like when we didn't even have headlines. It was just called like Coaching Call with Glenn Bill.
Right.
I do want to shine a light, like literally it's one of my all-time favorite interviews. This one right here where it's like, what do realtors really think about loan officer marketing?
Yes.
Check this out, dude. It's been viewed like almost 8,000 times.
Amazing.
You know?
Amazing.
So if you resonate with anything Glenn says, if you want to learn more and go deeper, that's a great place to go. So I know you got a lot to share, you know, and remember community, there's time for questions. So if you have questions, either put them in Facebook comments. When I'm not talking, I'll look in there, or throw them in Zoom chat and I'll bring them into Bill. But what are some of the things you want to share with the mortgage coach community today, man? I know you got some things.
Yeah, I think what we talked about was, you know, how you really differentiate yourself from other mortgage originators, loan originators with realtors. And I think, you know, because we're positive, both you and me, Dave, and, you know, I think what we said, I said, hey, how about 5 things that loan originators are being told and sold that really don't work? And so I'm going to hit on a few of those just because, you know, marketing and differentiating yourself in marketing is tough to do. I always like to say, if you're marketing to realtors, you're not differentiating yourself because you know what? Everybody's marketing. So I just want to show a few of you of these things. So I don't know if you want to put this back on, but, you know, here's something that I got the other day in the mail. I'm not sure who's spending money on this stuff, right? But it says, Glenn, our relationship is not disposable, and they sent me 4 aluminum straws. Okay, I sit there and I'm like, who is selling marketing to loan originators? And some of these works, here's a great one. I'm going to cover up who I got this one from. But it says, thanks a latte for using our team. We appreciate you. And they sent me like a sticker with a latte on it. And I can promise you that if you were buying these monthly marketing, here's a pen with a back scratcher on it. Never use it, right? But here's the thing. Do I throw them away? No. And that may be a marketing ploy. But the bottom line is this. They sit in our office and they annoy us, and they do not create what's called positive emotional residual. Flashlight, I love it. We'll never use it, but it's branded. Here's a pen with a cleaner for your screen. Again, guys, I love it. The koozie's good, but guess what? I have 500 of them, and here's a thank you, a thank you cookie. Not a bad idea. But guys, if we're talking about building loyalty, right? Loyalty is the highest form of customer satisfaction. And I want to talk a little bit about creating loyalty. You know, doing a loan on time, doing a loan on budget with a great rate and closing it on time, that's going to get you a satisfied customer. That's not going to get you a loyal customer. The mortgage business, people have upped their game. Mortgage Coach members have upped their game. And what used to be known as exceptional service is only now satisfied. And you know what? Satisfaction is the lowest rung of the ladder that you can provide. Loyalty creating loyalty is what you're striving for. A satisfied customer will do business with you. A loyal customer will always do business with you, always refer you, and fight to the death to make sure that you get the loan in the deal. So this customer satisfaction versus loyalty, there is a difference. Jeffrey Gitomer always said, do you want your spouse to be satisfied, or do you want your spouse to be loyal? Need to think about that one, right?
Both.
There's a difference. And I love this saying, loyalty is the most difficult of customer service goals. It's the most difficult to achieve. But once you have it, you have something your competition will never have. And that's called the Realtor customer. So when we talk about marketing and we talk about loyalty, this is what I'm looking for. It's like, what are you doing to gain loyal? Hitting it on time, on budget, with, no problems. That's good, but unfortunately it's expected. And I'm just satisfied. So what's, the sizzle? So that's number one. Loyalty gifts don't necessarily build loyalty. What was our second point? Was it?
Time out.
Sure.
Before we go there. So first of all, I want to engage the community, and I want to get you to give us some feedback on what are you doing that you think creates loyalty? Like, so if you're doing something, and by the way, if you've got some killer gift that you've given that has helped you get a meeting, share that too. Because by the way, this is a debate I'll have. Now, I'm all about, when it comes to marketing, delivering tangible value and turning marketing into a service. I mean, I founded Mortgage Coach on that concept, that I didn't want to, create loyal relationships on anything other than my advice, like meeting with me, talking with me, having me recommend a mortgage strategy just has value, has obvious value, visual value. And I founded Mortgage Coach on that. But what are you doing? Like, if you're on this call, you just heard Bill rant about, loyal, about gifts, which, hey, you know what? Here's my deal on that. Tell me if you agree, Glenn. Like, if you're killing it and you have great results and you have loyal relationships, testing some gifts and some marketing gimmicks are great. It's okay. It's okay. It was never my thing. But I do know that there's some successful loan officers that have got some meetings with it. But what is your take on that? Is it like you just think gifts are not good at all, in your opinion? Or is it you just think too many loan officers use them as a crutch, or they think that they're more valuable than they really are?
Well, yeah, the gifts do not create loyalty, right? For me, when I receive these gifts, they create aggravation and they create negative emotional residual because they're cluttering up my office. I understand the concept of the program, okay? But to me, loyalty is not created by blindly getting emails weekly, blindly getting emails monthly. There's no engagement. So it's like, back to your point, what am I doing? What do I do? And I think this gets to kind of point 5. And I love how we riff, Dave, you're great. And as you know, I coach football for 25 years, and the old saying is, there is no growth without conflict. And so I love differentiating opinions. I love stirring the pot. Everything I'm saying doesn't have to be true, and it doesn't have to be true in your world. But I see mortgage people spend money and invest marketing dollars on things that don't work, and or things that don't work on me. And so one of my goals to help mortgage people is, let's really analyze your marketing. And if you're doing things that worked in the past, that's how you get passed up. If I'm running for a touchdown and I look behind me, I lose speed. And so, the old ways of marketing are not differentiating you. So when we talk about customer differentiation, how do I differentiate myself other than marketing? This gets into what we'll just jump to 5, and that's creating the experience, right?
Well, no, let's not do that, because I do want to hit, and I'm showing it on my screen. So we just covered loyalty. I mean, yeah. I do want to cover, funnel hacks and how you cover that, because I also think it is a place where a lot of loan officers confuse their busyness with business. So why don't you cover that, and then we'll get to the number 5.
we'll get to what I do, but look at ClickFunnels. I use ClickFunnels for my speaking business, right? ClickFunnels is great. Russell Brunson's awesome. I've spent thousands. I've spent hundreds. I've spent a bunch of money on internet marketing trying to figure it out. But I can tell you this, that ClickFunnels won't get you the relationship, right? ClickFunnels is a program that is awesome and incredibly successful for a lot of people, especially for seminar and speaker business. I've yet to see a mortgage ClickFunnel work to have me go and try out the lender. And I don't really think, and I've worked with realtors on ClickFunnels, how do I get people that want to buy and sell on a ClickFunnel? It's great for sourcing investors. It's great for sourcing money. But look if you're on Facebook, you're seeing ClickFunnels sponsored ads constantly in your thread, if not 3 out of every 10 posts. So number one, I'm not here to bash ClickFunnels. It's brilliant. It's unbelievable. It works, and we rock with it. We're actually going to promote a ClickFunnel with you guys today. But for actually securing the realtor relationship, there's a lot of people out there that are selling a ClickFunnel program that says, hey, come into my funnel, and we're going to show you how to get 10 realtor meetings, yada, yada, but you're going to have to pay us $2,000 to do that. And, I'll show you how to get 10 realtor meetings that cost you nothing. So what I want to say is this, right? High performance people. You have potential minus interference equals high performance. So if your potential is 100, but you are engaging in interfering behavior, ClickFunnels, Facebook trolls, stuff that doesn't work, $2 marketing pieces, that's diminishing your true potential. It's diminishing your ability to become a high performer. So if you're a high performer and you're doing everything that works, obviously keep doing it. I'm not saying it's not working. But if you're a loan originator out there that honestly looks at their business and says, I need to think different, I need to feel different, I need to up my game, I need to improve my game, I need to get outside the picture, right? You can't see the picture if you're inside the frame. Then I'm somebody that you may want to talk to or look to help grow your business, because I think some of the greatest ideas I got for marketing and becoming a top performer in real estate were from people that were actually outside the real estate business. Sometimes we are so busy trying to look at marketing ideas that everybody else is doing inside our business. We have no originality, we have no differentiation, and the place to get that, hell, it might be from a Fuller Brush salesman. I don't know. But we need to look outside, and you need to be careful before you start spending thousands of dollars on internet programs and expect to build relationships, because I'm just not seeing it happen. Now, could it happen? Yes. But most people that engage with that hope are coming up broke, because you know what? To run a ClickFunnels program takes a hell of a lot of work, a hell of a lot of people, a hell of a lot of specialty, a lot of money, and it takes a lot of trial and error. And I think go ahead.
So real quick, someone had asked, what is a ClickFunnels, just so we have your definition of it. When you say that, what are you referring to?
Right. So ClickFunnels is basically an internet marketing program where you run Facebook ads, you invite people to a webinar, and then you sell them a online experience and or class on how to get 10 realtor meetings in a month. And so what's going on is there are people that are going into the mortgage business and they're saying, hey, buy our ClickFunnels marketing program, create your ClickFunnels for realtors, and we're going to run ads targeted at realtors. We're going to bring realtors in. You're going to have all these people on your webinar. They're going to fall in love with you and give you loan business. And what I'm telling you is my experience and my reality, because I've done this, was that there's better ways to generate relationships than internet marketing programs and sponsored internet ads. So hopefully that answers the question. It's an internet marketing program is what it is.
Got it. All right. So let's do this. Mild debate, because I do know people that run online marketing campaigns, and I do too.
I do too.
I do believe in personal branding online. And I do know it works. So it really comes down to, what works best for you. And it also, like, to anybody on this call, we're not saying don't do, Facebook marketing, don't do internet marketing. It is a strategy and a tactic. Make sure you're measuring, if you're spending money and time, measure it. What are some of the things you think work? Like, what are some of the big ideas that you advocate for and you think work best?
Well, I think, Dave, you're a great example of it, and that's giving education and helping educate your consumer, right? Which are your mortgage originators. So when you talk about, Glenn, what are you doing to get business? And I've said this before on this, there are people that want to do business with me because of what I'm doing in the community as a football coach for 25 years. There's people that want to do business with me because I wrote a international best-selling book that meant something to them. There are people that want to do business with me because I'm in public. We talked about on some of the other interviews, let's stop prospecting one-on-one and let's start prospecting one-on-40. So I'm constantly putting myself in the public arena. So instead of me having a one-on-one dialogue on, do you want to do business with me? I'm with 1-on-40. I've recently just become the lead correspondent on Indie Boomer Television. And I got to interview Nate McMillan from the Indiana Pacers. I got to interview Mickey Maurer, who owns the National Bank of Indianapolis. Well, that show, it's not the Today Show, but every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., 5,000 people watch me on TV talk about something other than real estate. And so when we talk about branding, and again, you and me are not in disagreement. I am sure that there are people out there that are making money off the internet doing mortgage lending. I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm saying that they're an anomaly. I know a lot of people that are trying to make money internet marketing, trying to get realtors to get them business, and 9 out of 10 of them aren't doing it right? And so these are the things that I'm doing. I put myself out in the public. I'm in the newspaper. I do a Friday radio. I'm on a Friday radio call, and I pick 2 high school football games, and I pick 2 great real estate deals. So people hear me on television. They hear me on radio. They see me all over Facebook. I am branding myself across all mediums. And sometimes, believe it or not, I've worked on how to create celebrity, right, for free. And that's through local television and giving meaningful content, doing things for the community, calling up your local TV, newspaper, radio show and saying, hey, how would you like to cover this? And some of that stuff has been on some of our other interviews, but that's what I'm doing. And I find that people are wanting to do business with me because of me, not because I'm some real estate guy, right? So it's a little different. It's all about positioning, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, what you're saying completely aligns with everything we teach. I'm going to show a quick slide. And I recently did a post on LinkedIn called, Are You Playing Mortgage Checkers? Or are you playing mortgage chess? And, one of the playbooks we have, and I know you align with it, Glenn, is that, most loan officers, they just focus on price and speed, transaction. And the best loan officers focus on advice. Yes, we've got to have reasonable price. Yes, we got to keep promises and have a good price. But they're building personal brands. They're going from being just average low playing checkers to being a loan officer that's building community, building brand. What are some of the, call it the good ideas you see for mortgage professionals on how they can lead and build brands? Like, what are some examples of just doing it right that you can think of?
Well, I think, one thing that we talked about, and I actually came up with this strategy, was the idea of creating personal wealth. Number one, not only for realtors. There's my fire engines. You hear them?
I love it.
Sorry about that. We're in the middle of Broad Ripple.
It's all good.
It's all good. So I think one thing, this is what I'd like to lead to, is here's a great idea that I said. Find the 10 realtors you want to do business with, call them all and say that you're looking to invest in real estate and you would like them to be your buyer's agent if they bring you a deal. Now think about what that does. And I'd recommend it's maybe 2 superstars, which is 48 homes or more. I'd recommend that it's maybe 3 or 4 people that are doing 24 to 48. I'd recommend you get half of them that are doing, 1 to 12 transactions. I believe in building business through new agents and being there forever. But think about it. If you called even 5 realtors and said, hey, I'm looking to invest in real estate, or I have friends looking to invest. Can you bring me your best deals, or can you touch base with me once a week or twice a week to show me, just through the internet, not to physically go out and walk, what some of the best investments are in the marketplace? Well, can you imagine? I mean, you're not tricking anybody. Certainly, we want to encourage our loan originators that listen to build wealth through real estate. And I encourage realtors to build wealth through real estate. I've owned real estate, I've built, I've developed, but now you've become a partner with the realtor. And so to answer your question, you need to create and perform activities that cause a realtor to become your partner, not necessarily your customer. And some of the best loan originators I see are being sourced deals from realtors. They're giving them the sale. Some of them are partnering with realtors on different real estate investments. The whole idea of jumping in, I shouldn't say jump in bed, that's probably the wrong analogy, but jumping into transactions with realtors as partners and or referral sources, it's huge. And if I'm a realtor who's struggling, which there's plenty of them, and a loan originator says, you know what, I'm looking to buy an investment property, would you consider staying in touch with me regarding the best investments on the planet? They do. Number one, they're calling you, you're not calling them. Number two, they may end up making you $50,000 to $60,000 on a real estate play. And number three, if the deal is incredible, you have the ability to go out and source your contacts to try to bring them a buyer that gets them a commission. Your contact makes the money on the spread instead of you, and your customer base loves you and they're referring you. So, that's the idea of engaging and truly becoming a partner with your broker. Just an idea. My guess is if you do it, you'll have realtors calling you.
No, it's a great idea. It's a great strategy. By the way, it reminded me of an interview I did 14 weeks ago. I know that because, the way we organize our YouTube channel, with Cody Touche, $100 million producer out of Seattle. And the guy is killing it. By the way, one of the best interviews of the year. It's definitely going to be one of the top 10 Tuesday calls of the year. It's been watched over 1,200 times. I'm showing it right here. But one of his strategies is I invest in real estate. And I love that because, one of the tenets at Mortgage Coach is that, we help families build wealth with real estate by helping them make smarter mortgage decisions. That's why you're part of, that's a value prop. Like if you don't use Mortgage Coach, it's hard to say that and then show it, like make that claim and then let me show you how I do it. So anyways, check out this interview. Great interview. Highly recommend it. What are some other ideas? What are some other ideas in a way that a loan officer could differentiate themselves in a way that builds loyalty?
Well, if I can, I'd like to talk about being a better you, right? Like being a better person, like being a more contagious person. So I work with realtors and loan originators all over the country. And I love the trainers and coaches, and I love trainers and coaches in the industry. But oftentimes I get this phone call. I spent a bunch of money with this trainer or coach, and this is from both sides, realtor and mortgage, and do the numbers, which doesn't differentiate you, right? But the numbers work. And I agree that numbers work, but I will also tell you that just flat out cold calling all day is the number one source of burnout for salespeople. So there's got to be, a better way. And some people can grind and do it and hit their goals. And if you're one of them, I was one of them. I love to call people. But what happens is if you're not built for that, it's not right for you. I had a realtor come into my office the other day, and She had spent thousands of dollars. She had made the calls and she was getting 0 conversions. And I said, why do you think you're getting 0 conversions, right? And she's defeated. And I said, number one, I can tell why you're getting 0 conversions. You're defeated and you're not attractive and you're not contagious. Your attitude is beaten. And so there may be people out there that are going, I am beaten. I'm beaten down. I can't call another loan rep. And hey, look, my son was a loan rep and he did great. But he said, Dad, this is the people watching this. The reason I love mortgage people and realtor, this is a tough ass business and it's full of rejection. And your customer, real estate agents, are not the greatest customers. Let's be honest about it. So you got to be Teflon. You got to think right, and you got to have the emotions to feel right. And is the way you think affecting the way you feel, and is the way you feel affecting the way you think? And if you're not feeling right, if you're not thinking and feeling right when you go to prospect a broker, then it's not going to happen when it's all said and done. And so this gal came in and she said, Glenn, I'm having no success. I'm doing my numbers. I've spent the money, but I have 0 success at what I'm doing. And I said, this is an interpersonal thing. And I asked her, this is an old, Tony Robbins question, whose love did you crave most, your mother's or your father's? Now, to do this in 2 minutes isn't going to be easy, but I think if the people listening really answer that question, right? Our 2 biggest attitude coaches are our parents. And she said, my mother, I craved her love more. And then I said, the instant follow-up is, well, who'd you have to be in order to get her love? And she said, well, I had to be perfect, Glenn. And I went, holy crap. Perfect does not work very well in our industry, right? And so here's what happened with her. She went from non-producing to 2 listings and a sale already in her first 30 days on my team, okay? Unbelievable shift of results. So the bottom line is there's a million different things that work, but like AA says, you got, it doesn't work if you don't work it. And if it works if you do work it. And so many of us, no matter what the strategy, no matter what the plan, no matter how many mortgage coach interviews that we listen to, if we're not right in our heads and our hearts with us and who we are and what feels good, then you know what? It's not going to work. Nothing will work. And so on my team, I have a lot of people that don't want to prospect. And I made my business through prospecting. So I love my team because they force me to get outside of the box and say, how can I do business differently? How can I attract customers differently? And it's forced me to help them. And every meeting that we have, we go through, let's brainstorm on how to approach and engage and get sales in a different manner. And so hopefully that answers your question. But the bottom line is, if you're an incredible person with a great attitude, brokers are going to be attracted to you. They're going to want to be around it. And I think I saw a couple of questions pop up, so I'd love to answer those.
Yeah, I'll bring those in. I do want to share with folks, Glenn is a huge leader when it comes to developing attitude. We could not only dedicate a whole call, he does workshops and he does things to help people, be intentional about mindset and attitude and raise it to the highest level. So just know, I'm going to tell you how to get in touch with Bill if you want to go through one of his programs. And I recommend you building mindset and a winning attitude. There's no magic pill. There's no answer he can say over the next 5 minutes that's going to solve it. But do engage with his community and listen to some of these interviews. So Glenn, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Linda Canyon, wanted to know what does it take to have your loyalty? Like what are the ingredients to have your loyalty? First, if you could answer that, and then I have a follow-up question.
So, loyalty comes from a personal relationship. It's almost primal. I was listening to a podcast with a guy that was a record producer, and I think what he called it mama customer. In other words, your mother and you were connected. Who's the person that loves you the most, that believes in you the most, that never gives up on you, right? It's your mom. And so the goal is, how do I get into somebody's heart and mind and guts like my mother? I want my customers to be like my mother. That's called loyalty, right? And so the easiest way to gain loyalty is to give value. And we've talked about this before. You know, the definition of value is what you do for a customer on behalf of the customer before you even ask them for a transaction. The question is what are you doing, right? Are you sending a back scratcher and saying, may I have a loan? Or are you investigating the realtor, finding out that their son's an incredible lacrosse player and connecting them with a coach at a college for a lacrosse team and getting them a look, right? See, that's the difference between great salespeople and not. How well do you know me? How well do you research me? And what connection can I do to help your business? When I go and list property and sell property, the first thing I ask is, what business are you in? And how can I help your business? I'm speaking tomorrow or Friday night for a guy in the lumber business. And he works with Lennar Homes, MI Homes, some national builders, and he needs an account. Well, I have a client that just walked in who's a custom builder. And I said, you know, I said, is he a customer? He said, Glenn, he's a custom builder. I said, did you also know he's a land developer for some of the biggest builders in the Midwest? He said, I didn't know that. I said, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an introduction, and you and this client of mine, a speaking client of mine, are going to meet face-to-face, and you're going to talk to him about how to sell lumber packages to some of the builders that you don't have on your account. So I have a speaking fee, but I could possibly make an introduction to my client who's paying me a speaking fee that could pay him $100,000. So these are the relationships I look for. These are the leverage points I look for. It's not sending things in the mail. It's not sending emails. It's researching your customer, finding out what relationships, contacts, strategies, specialties that I have that I can leverage them in and be there for them, like your mother. Oh, here we go again. So that's hopefully that's a good enough answer, and that makes sense, right? I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah, well, I guess the thing for everybody, it's not easy, it's not linear, and it does require a couple things for you to have a true sense of curiosity, to know your customers and your partners, and then to have, you know, the heart of a teacher and the heart of a servant, where you just want to give value. You know, it makes me think of the interview I did with Jeremy Forcier recently, and I've interviewed Jeremy, you know, countless times. Highly recommend. I'll put a link down below to one of my favorite interviews with Jeremy. But he does it all right. You know, I mean, he asks great questions. He delivers a total cost analysis, and then he's just looking for ways to give value, whether it's introducing people, but it all comes down to this. If you're on this call right now and you're listening to this, how much are you doing it all right? Like when it comes to the transaction, are you taking a good app? Are you delivering more than a fee worksheet, total cost analysis? But then what are you doing above and beyond just being a mortgage professional? You know, how are you helping that family, if it's a home buyer, achieve their wealth goals and achieve their home ownership goals? And if it's a realtor, what are you doing above and beyond just being a transaction person? So reminder, guys, we got about 20 minutes left. If you have questions, Glenn, Bill, kick them in. Glenn, rather than wait till the end to do the, like, hey, how does people get in touch with you? I do want to just make sure people know how to go to the next level with you. We can, anything we forget to mention, we can do it at the end. But, you know, if the mortgage coach community wants to subscribe, wants to learn, wants to go deeper with you, how do they do it?
Right. I think I got a slide in there. We're going to be launching a webinar that we hope will be different than most. And that webinar is called, not that one. Let's go up. It's a how-to. Two more up, possibly. There we go. We're going to do a webinar called How to Position Yourself for Greatness Without Hiring a Shrink. And basically, you'll be seeing this, and this is a ClickFunnels internet marketing thing that we'll be doing. So if you want to see how it goes, and the bottom line is, I went through a period where I signed up for everything. I'm like, what's going on in internet marketing? And man, my box was getting flooded, right? Way too much interference and distraction for me. But I believe that I'm not the only one that understands how to position yourself for greatness. But so many webinars are focused on go get more realtors, go make more money, how to get more meetings. And I haven't really seen webinars that are a quote-unquote self-study course. So the international bestseller we had called the ABCs of Attitude and the accompanying ABCs Playbook, it's really a self-study course on how did I get my attitude, how is my attitude perceived, how can I change my attitude, how can I influence myself and influence others in my life so I'm more positive. And we're going to take you through, basically, there's going to be about 12 courses that are going to happen there. We're going to have a monthly interview with 10-digit income earners, which is fantastic. So just be looking for that. And if you want the free playbook right now, go down to 10 there. Just text U of Attitude to 555-888, or just visit me at abcsofattitude.com/playbook. You'll be able to download the playbook. You'll be able to subscribe. You'll get 26 attitude boosters, 26 strategies on attitude about every 4 days, A through Z. People are loving it. And it's, no more than 3 paragraphs on what you can do to reinforce, create, and engage with a positive attitude. And if you feel like you need to position yourself differently or you need different content, we're going to give you 12 different strategies that will help you perform better. Mostly, my goal in life is to help people become more positive, more influential, and more happy. There's no reason why we can't have fun in this crazy business that we do. So text U of Attitude to 555-888. And I'm going to be posting on the page after that as well. And then we're going to be launching a pretty big webinar. We haven't really figured the date out just because there's so much being launched right now. But if you want to go on a journey with me, you'll be able to do that. I've had numerous people ask for individual coaching. And that's just not, it's really, I'm a keynote speaker when it's all said and done. And I love the energy of many instead of one-on-one. And so in keeping with my philosophy, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this webinar. And then, if people want to have fun and roll with me, they're going to be able to do so. So thank you, Dave, for allowing me to share that. But to position yourself for greatness, you got to position yourself first. And so many of us are out chasing the easy way. I love what you said about being curious. That's really all this is. But so many of us are curious about other people's. We don't take time to be curious about ourselves. Why do we think the way we think? Why do we feel the way we feel? What my webinar will do will help you gain those answers and insights. So when people bring you these unbelievable ideas through ClickFunnels or whatever, you're going to be in a better position to make them work for you. What I see now are people are immobilized, they're overwhelmed, there's too much good stuff, there's too many strategies to become super producers in real estate or in mortgage, and the biggest problem they have is them. And that's why they can't absorb it and get it. And so what I'm going to try to help people do is dry the sponge so the new information can come in. That's what we're going to be working on.
I love it. So we got 15 more minutes.
I can't. Okay, good. I couldn't hear you. I think we're okay now.
I put those links down below in chat. We've got 15 more minutes. Glenn, I want to transition real quick because one of the things that we're, big topic in mortgage coach land is this seller buy down playbook. And this is one of those things where I know you follow the community, and I think it's one of the ways that we started talking and set up this call is you saw us advertising this or promoting and evangelizing this strategy. So first of all, what are your thoughts on the seller buy down, and what is some of your advice for the mortgage coach community as it pertains to it?
Right. So big fan of seller buy down, right? Big fan of adjustable rate loans. Let's face it, you did an adjustable rate loan in the past 30 years, you haven't gone wrong. Rates are going to go up. Rates are going up, prices are coming down. The perfect grease and the tool to keep sales moving. I do a speech called 10 Reasons I Hope It Gets Worse. Are we good? Can you hear me? We okay? We all right there? Dave? Can you hear me?
I'm having a sound issue. Can you guys all hear me?
I can hear you.
Say, I can hear you, Dave. Or can you hear Glenn? Okay, you can hear us both. For whatever reason, I'm not hearing.
Nice. Okay. So look at buy down strategies certainly will differentiate you, because I don't think many people or not enough people are talking about them. I'm a huge fan of adjustable rate loans. The financial planners that I sell homes to only do 1-year ARMs and refinance every year, which makes sense if you think about it. Builders, right? I represent several production builders, and you know what? They're slashing prices. And I'm sitting there going, let's not slash prices. Let's figure out how to put people in homes for 2%. And, you know, a $8,000 mortgage incentive, which is obviously good for our people watching, is a lot better than a $20,000 price reduction for a seller. Values are up. Appraisals can sustain the higher values in order to give those mortgage incentives. So the bottom line is, I would get real good at 2-1 buy downs. I would get real good at selling adjustable rate loans. And I would be looking for properties that are sitting on the market for 150 days or more. And I would be going and personally calling on the real estate agents who have those listings with the idea of creating a financing relief plan for their sellers. Trust me, agents who have listings for 90 days or more are dying and searching for answers on how to get rid of the listings. But more importantly, they are dying and searching for something different to tell their sellers. How do I know this? Because I talk to agents every day. And, you know, your home doesn't sell in this market in 90 days. You either suck or you don't know how to talk to a seller. So, you know, in my opinion, the opportunity, this buy down program stuff, probably one of the best approaches to take to a listing agent that's been sitting on the market for 90 days or more, and a great way to get in. So I love it, and I think the strategy is amazing, and I love what you guys are doing with it.
Love it. So want to remind everybody, by the way, could you confirm you can hear me?
I can hear you.
If you're on this call and you have not read the Seller Buy Down Playbook, make sure you read it. And to me, the strategy, and tell me if you agree, Glenn, where Jeremy is, you know, providing the Seller Buy Down Playbook and emailing an example to it to a realtor, is that a valuable way for a loan officer to show up and deliver value to an agent?
Well, I would say most realtors don't have the wherewithal to read a quote-unquote playbook, even though it's probably pretty small. Getting realtors to open emails and look at it, to answer your question, yes. But I personally would recommend a personal visit with the playbook in hand. And I would probably start by saying, hey, I noticed that you had a listing for $400,000. And I have an idea to put $12,000 in your pocket the next 60 days. Would you be interested in reading this and handing it to them in a face-to-face meeting? I think that's free, and it happens.
By the way, I cannot debate with that, my brother. You know, there's no doubt, you know, when you read this playbook, and by the way, someone asked, where's a link? I just put it in chat. You know, we talked about strategies. You know, I put this one as number one just because it's easiest for the loan officer to do, which Absolutely. Is send an email. But by the way, do I think having an actual meeting is like 3 times better? No. It's like 10 times better.
Right.
So listen to the recording. You just gave a great script and have a meeting. But here's the thing, man. You got to do it all. You gotta call people and have the meetings. You gotta send the email, do a Facebook Live. There's no one. Well, there is one thing better than others: personal meetings where you're connecting knee to knee, engaging on a human level. Trumps everything.
And Dave, if I can, and again, this is touching on other calls we've done. It's important that our people here understand the most important person in real estate. It's called the sales manager. Hell, don't go in and talk to one agent, right? This is the idea. This is what I teach. gbunlimited.com. gbunlimited.com. You want to hit that. We have a personal sales assessment for free. You can do that. But go ask to talk to the sales manager. And say you would love to do a sales meeting for the office, especially for those agents, and maybe it's not a sales meeting. Say, Mr. Sales Manager, I'd like to meet with any agent in your office as a group who has listings that have been on the market for 120 days or more. You pick the time. I have a way to generate revenue for your office. Are you interested in generating revenue? Yes. Are you interested in not working Tuesday morning at a sales meeting? Yes. I'll come in, give me 15 minutes. It's called the 2-1 buy down playbook. Right? And I'd be willing to meet with any sellers that need explanation, and then you're in front of them and you can get a loan. So stop prospecting one-on-one. Let's start prospecting 10-on-1, 20-on-1, 40-on-1, and the sales managers are the key to it.
Love that. Love that.
Yes. I cannot stress enough. You should be prospecting sales managers. Even if there's an in-house lender, you should know every sales manager in your market, and you should be delivering value and trying to create loyalty with them first, even before real estate agents. Sorry about that.
No, man, it's good stuff, man. I'm going to add that to the playbook. So just to remind everybody, in the bottom of the playbook, we have a resource section, and it does include some, lunch and learn ideas. It does include some one-to-many videos. If you were watching this and you are not part of our Facebook group, the Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind, there's examples of Mortgage Coach loan officers actually presenting to a group of realtors. And I think a couple of loan officers have put their PowerPoint presentations and their examples in it. Maybe we could do that at a different time. I don't want to go too far down this, but I do want to make and emphasize how important it is that you're leading. You're coming in with leadership, and and leadership to me is when you're bringing ideas that are going to help them sell more houses. And then you're not only saying you're going to do it, you're showing them how you do it. So highly recommend at the next meeting that you do, you make the seller buy down, the Mortgage Coach seller buy down, a strategy and a topic. And then, by the way, our slide's good, yes, but it's better to show the actual total cost analysis on the screen and say, this is the promise, and now let me show you how to do it. By the way, Glenn, could you repeat that script one more time, where you kind of got the attention in the voice of a realtor?
Yeah, so hi, Dave. I'm Glenn Bill with Mortgage Coach. Haven't seen you in a while, whatever. Hey, I noticed your listing on 123 Main Street has been on the market for 120 days. I'm curious, are you having trouble talking to your sellers? Would you be interested in putting $12,000 in commission in your pocket the next 60 days? If so, can I get 3 minutes to talk to you about this thing called the buy down program or the buy down workbook, right? So number one, relieve their stress. If I have a listing for 90 days or more, I'm stressed out. I have nothing new to talk to my seller about. 95% of agents are not talking about buy down programs. So that's, I think your first approach is, how'd you like to come up with a new idea to talk to your seller about at your next 30-day review? And then you future cast them. Hey, I'm just wondering, you got December 31st coming up. Everybody's on bonuses in real estate offices. I mean, you may not have a lot of time, but boy, I'd love to be able to put $12,000 in your pocket once we get this home sold. Let me show you how. Are you interested in talking to a seller about not reducing the price, putting money in their pocket, putting money in your pocket with this new with this new mortgage program, and it's not new. We've been doing seller buy downs forever, or I have. So I don't know. Is that what you're wanting, I hope?
Yeah, you think you crushed it. You gave the community some new words, some new sentences, some new scripts.
It was probably better the first time when I winged it.
Yeah, no, but that's good. So remember, folks, connect with Bill outside this call. Follow him on LinkedIn. Follow him on Facebook, and go through his ClickFunnels. For those of you that don't know what a ClickFunnels is, if you give Bill your contact information, he'll show you what it is. And so you'll learn some marketing because Bill's a good marketer, and you're going to get pure value. I wouldn't have Bill on this call, Bill on this call, Glenn, if he wasn't legit and if he didn't bring huge value. So I'm going to put you on the I don't know, hot spot for one more script. If you were a loan officer wanting to get you in a coffee meeting, forget about seller buy down. Just give us a script that a loan officer can use to get a meeting with a realtor that doesn't suck.
Right. So I would say if somebody called me, what would I want to hear? Let's do this. I would probably say, hey, Glenn, I've been following you, and what you're doing is freaking amazing. Would it be all right if I picked your brain on how to become more successful and how to become more profitable in my business? Right? Because successful people are givers. And yeah, you're sticking your hand out, but you're not asking for a loan. You're asking a real estate agent to talk about how great they are, which is their favorite thing. So that would probably get me there. Glenn, in return, what I'd like to do is try to figure out how I can put more customers in front of you and increase your profitability and sales. And I have a few ideas I'd like to run by. Would that be cool? Would you prefer beer or coffee, which is the alternative choice close from Tom Hopkins in 1973? Giving your prospect two options, each of which is a personal meeting. So that's probably what I would do. I would recognize their greatness. I would research them. If through the research, if there's a hot button, like if you came up to me and researched me and say, Glenn, I'd be interested in talking with you about how to keynote for my company, I am going to meet with you. And I think that's fairly obvious. So just simple research, and it's a value give, and it's what can I say that will help this person make more money? How did I do? Was that okay?
That was awesome, brother. I love it. It's a new script for everybody. Now, again, guys, don't just go scale that. The person you're reaching out to needs to be legit. They need to have something you want to learn for. And by the way, you have to be sincerely interested in learning from them. If you're just using it to get a meeting so that you can kind of backdoor pitch them, it'll be transparent and it won't work. So at least that's my take. So by the way, the thing is flooding with questions. So first of all, anybody that we didn't get your question answered, you can go into the Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind Facebook page and ask myself or Glenn a question. So if you didn't get your questions answered, post it in our group. For the couple people that are like, oh, buy down. I need to know about this buy down. Guys, it's all over the place. You know, like it's the #1 playbook. It's called Fast Track Your Seller Buy Down Success. So there's a playbook, and just watch these videos. I even put them in order. Like this one, you'll get the most value from this one video. However, the video that started this video is the first 15 minutes of this video. You know, so there's a couple hours of homework, but watch the interviews. You know, again, it's such a big strategy, and Mortgage Coach is such a key component to your success with this strategy. We created this playbook for you. Again, the links, follow me on LinkedIn. If you don't already follow me on LinkedIn, check out my articles. Glenn, it's been awesome, brother. Any final words of wisdom in 60 seconds or less that you have for the community?
I just want to thank you, Dave. I just want, the people that are watching this, 10-20% probably hit their goal or crushed their goals. 80% maybe didn't. And I just want to encourage you to stay positive. There's the old Jim Rohn story about coffee, and they said, what if your best friend comes and puts a big spoonful of sugar in your coffee? How's it going to taste? And you go, yeah, pretty sweet. But what if your best friend came and put a drop of cyanide in your coffee? I said, hell, it's going to kill you. And so the bottom line is negative attitudes and negative thinking, right, turn dreams into nightmares. And so my hope for everybody watching here is that you continue to dream, you continue to stay positive, that you block out more interference and you follow people that are legit, that are actually doing it. That you know that you have greatness within each and every one of you. And the mortgage coach community, each of us needs all of us, and all of us needs each of us. Every person that's on here, all 141, you all have something to say. You all have something great. You all have something to give. And if you didn't reach your goals, don't let the past ruin your future. The next 4 weeks matter. Recreate yourself. Stay positive. Watch our videos. Check me out on LinkedIn. Hit me up on Glenville Speaker at Facebook. Feel free to text me. Most of all, talk to your bosses and get me in there to do a keynote speech and a realtor event in your city. And I promise you, you're going to get more realtor meetings, and they're going to love you, and it'll be the most valuable thing you've ever given your community.
Boom! That last 90 seconds was awesome, brother.
All right.
Man, I appreciate you. Good to have you in the community. Showing off the state championship ring again. Whatever, man. I don't have one. All right. Take care, everybody. Hopefully you got an hour of value. Tune into the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. It is Netflix for mortgage professionals. And make sure you are giving us your attention, giving us your leadership in the Mortgage Coach Productivity Mastermind. It's a place to make money and have a better attitude on Facebook. Take care, y'all.
Thanks, guys.